everyone and welcome to another video, welcome to the channel, and today I want to discuss online games, and specifically, online games dominate the world we live in at the moment, and I want to specifically discuss games that didn't last very long, games that didn't even last a year. Now, this as a concept used to plague me when I was younger. In 2003, a long time ago, I started playing RuneScape. And I used to always worry, after years and years of playing RuneScape, thousands of hours put into it, what would happen if the developer went bust and just pulled the plug? Or, just decided that RuneScape wasn't making them enough money anymore and just pulled the plug. I would be devastated. All that time just gone. But that is what has happened to a lot of games that people liked. Some of them weren't very popular, but people did still play them, at least for a bit. People bought them. So I want us to discuss that. I want to go further into that rabbit hole with games, as I say, that didn't even last a year. Some of them much shorter than that. So stick around and we'll find out which ones were the worst. But for now, we'll jump straight in with the first game I want to talk about, and that is... This was a DC game. A DC game where you play as your favourite superheroes in what is effectively a MOBA. And for people who are maybe uninitiated, that is a multiplayer online battle arena. Like League of Legends, say, or Dota. Now, this one was very like League of Legends. And as you'll see is a trend in these games. Chasing trends, ironically, will always result in failure. This was extremely derivative. It was a carbon copy almost of many other better MOBAs. It was completely uninspired in an already oversaturated market that has many, many offerings to pick from. This actually closed less than 5 months after it released. Now imagine you bought this game at the 4-month mark. You get to play it for a month before the developers, because they screwed up, because they made a derivative copycat game. You can only play it for a month before it goes out the window. Sorry. And as again will be a trend of these, no refunds were offered. Of course they weren't. It's your fault for buying a bad game, I suppose. Yeah, not a fan. Honestly, this one did seem like it had some wasted potential, but as I say, MOBAs are MOBAs. They're very similar, a lot of them, and there's better ones out there, frankly. Go play League of Legends. We'll move on to our next target of derision today. The Walking Dead. Now, this one, The Walking Dead as a franchise actually has stumbled a bit in recent years, let's be honest. And this one was developed by Overkill Software, yet another 4-player zombie survival game. Like Left 4 Dead, like a lot of other zombie survival games, because we need more of those. And much like Infinite Crisis, it was worse. It was hyped to all hell and back, this game. This one was really up there. I actually nearly bought into this as well because I loved Left 4 Dead. The idea of a slightly newer one with better graphics, I was into it, but I did back out mainly because I didn't have a PC at the time, which is leading into the next thing. There were supposed to be console ports, but since the game performed so poorly, that idea was completely shoved out the window, as was any and all online support for the game, which meant that was dead in the water as well. And eventually the game actually shut down within 3 months. That's all it took for this game to go from hype to dead in the water. And that's if you paid the full price for this, which I believe was £40 or 60 freedom dollars for my transatlantic friends, that's all you got. 3 months of tedious, difficult gameplay. So yeah, joy on that. Let's move on to our next game, shall we? Crucible, and this one is an interesting one, I think, anyway. Amazon really wants to get in on the gaming space, and apparently owning and operating Twitch isn't enough for them, but they do own and operate Twitch, and they do that quite successfully, but that's one thing. Putting together an A-list team and then pumping out a AAA game is another, and honestly, it looks like they've fallen at the first hurdle. Crucible was in development for 6 years. And then when it came out, it was frankly met with apathy and mediocre critical reviews, which, did not do it any favours. It was, like a lot of games on this list, again, chasing trend. It was a battle royale game in the style more of Fortnite and kind of with a Destiny-ish look to it. But yeah, again, there are many, many other battle royale games out there. To stand out, you've got to do something, and it didn't. So eventually it was delisted from storefronts and put back into a closed beta. So apparently, I guess it wasn't ready. Anyway, that all happened, all of that released, nobody liked it, put back into a beta from May till October. So once again, a game that barely lasted 6 months. It looks like Amazon are going to try and pump this out as a proper full release again at some point, but that was in 2020. COVID hit, and not much has been said about it since. So, next game we have... Okay, quick thing. Any other video you watch about this calls the game smash+grab. I would call it smash and grab. Surely it's smash and grab, right? Like that's a kind of a phrase, I guess? But we'll go with smash+grab. I will, default to the other YouTubers. They probably know more than me. They certainly get more views, so I'm going to take their opinion. Smash+grab. It was a competitive game where you played as a gang and had to smash and grab and loot things to get money, to buy more weapons, to fight another gang. It was kind of an interesting idea, and at least it wasn't another battle royale game. But yeah, this game was kind of a victim of circumstance. It came out in October 2016, and as soon as the game was released, there were rumours flying around that its developer, United Front Games, was in financial difficulties and was potentially looking to shut down. Unfortunately, this rumour was proven to be true, and then obviously when the company shut down, they took the game servers with them, which meant the game was gone. It was delisted from all digital storefronts, and yeah, disappeared. Now, this game came out in October 2016. The company closed down in October 2016. 3 weeks. I'm just going to pause there to leave that for you. Yeah, 3 weeks after the game came out. 3 weeks. Now, personally, my take on this is I think that the company was in financial dire straits, obviously, and decided that they were going to release this game. It's got kind of a funky art style. It looks somewhat like Fortnite, but it's different enough that I think they were hoping it would sell and salvage the company. Unfortunately, it didn't. And I think, yeah, so I blame the developers for this one. I think they knew that they were going under, and they released this to try and get some money to keep them going. But it didn't, and obviously, again, no one got any refunds. 3 weeks, guys. That's what you had to enjoy this one. And yeah, I think this one was slightly more malicious than the others on the list, if I'm honest with you, for the motivations at least behind it. So we'll go from there though onto our next title. Radical Heights was, unfortunately, despite how much they tried, not totally radical. It was yet another battle royale game. It was actually released as an early access, or as the developers put it, an extreme early access. It was full of bugs and glitches. It was completely broken as a game. It barely functioned. It really was almost unplayable. Boss Key Productions put this out there, I think, just to try and score some money. Honestly, I really do. Boss Key Productions actually closed down the entire company just a month after launch. Very similar to what happened with smash+grab. Again, I think it was the same concept. They put it out there. It was nowhere near ready as a released title yet. I think they put it out in the hopes to earn some cash, to generate some revenue to keep the company going, which, whilst admirable, I suppose, to keep people's jobs and whatnot, how is that fair on the player, the customer who actually purchased this game? Who, again, no refunds. I mean, I'll give the game one thing, it did have a kind of cool Miami Vice aesthetic to it, but otherwise than that, gameplay, it was your standard battle royale. Once again, a massively oversaturated genre, which already had a number of very good games you could pick from. So, I get what they were trying to do. I don't think it was particularly fair on a customer. So, yeah, that's Radical Heights, though, which it scores some points, I guess, for the visuals, like I say, but there we go, Radical Heights for you, everyone. We'll move on now to what I think is actually the worst example of this trope. Yeah, so we've had games that have lasted months. Let's go to what I think is the worst example here, shall we? And it is... Haven't heard of this one? The Culling 2? I'm not surprised, if I'm honest. Wasn't out very long. Kind of the point of this video, I suppose, isn't it? Now, if you are thinking that I've just got some PUBG footage here, I wouldn't blame you. This game is effectively a carbon copy of PUBG, except worse. With no character to it, no charisma, and just no charm. Yeah, it had such a low player count, a lot of people struggled to even get into a game. At one point, there were concurrently only 50 people playing the game. Across all of Steam. That was it. Yeah, so I think the problem with this one is, again, they're chasing a trend. But making it worse, not actually planning on making a good game. You know, and they were hoping to score some people, I guess, off of PUBG and Fortnite. But guess what? PUBG and Fortnite fans are sort of busy playing PUBG and Fortnite. Yeah, this one was awful, and developer Xavier actually did issue refunds for this, so I will give them the credit for that. But they pulled it from online stores only 8 days. 8 days, barely a week after it was released. But they did actually issue refunds to the vast majority of people that bought it. I believe there were some that didn't. I saw some complaints online when I was researching this video, but the vast majority did. So I will give them their credit there, but 8 days, guys. They claimed they just weren't happy with the state of the game. They weren't happy with the state of their the way they were interacting with the community. They weren't happy with the way the community was perceiving the game, or the way that community was perceiving them, and they wanted to try again. That was a year or so ago. They have not yet tried again. But there you go. That was the worst one. The worst game to online game that didn't even last a year. This one didn't even last a fortnight? I'm here all week, guys. Thank you very much. That is a perfect example of my very base level humour, by the way. Pun-fu, that's me. Now, I will leave you with that. Those were some of the worst games that were online, multiplayer, and didn't even last a year. And as you saw, some of them didn't even last a month. So, I guess moral of the story, just be careful what you're buying out there, and always remember, guys, no pre-orders. So thank you very much if you got this far in the video. I really do appreciate it. If you want to give me a like, that would be fantastic. We can feed the algorithm gods. Give me a subscribe if you really enjoyed the video and you want to see more of my content. Hit the little bell button. I have a bit of a back catalogue now. I've been doing it for a few months, so go and watch some of those. If you do want to, a video will pop up on screen now, and YouTube has selected that for you to watch. It thinks it'll be the one you'll like the most. So again, thank you very much, and I will see you next week. Stay safe.